Hey, Raindrops. On today's episode of Reality with the King, oh honey, you all know this is my favorite new show that is on television, let alone Bravo. This show is in its season premiere when I say to you, as the former producer of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. I must say it's giving me Jersey vibes, and obviously that's the biggest compliment in the world because it's the house that Teresa Giudice built. So we are talking about the Real Housewives of Rhode Island, and of course, I have to chat with the talk of the town, of the island, and of the neighborhood. So give it up for the beautiful Kelsey.
Thanks for having me.
How are you?
Good. So far, so good as this season is unraveling.
Did you think for a second, Kelsey, that look, obviously you've heard of Housewives. I'm sure you watched a couple. But did you think that Rhode Island was going to be a show where congrats on the massive rating success, congrats on it being number one on Peacock almost every week, it seems like. And I mean, this show is so damn good. So are you surprised by the world loving it so much?
To be honest, no. I'm not, I'm not surprised. I think the rest of the Rhode Islanders were surprised or had high expectations and didn't think that it would be a success. But somehow, like in deep in my heart, not even that
Mhm.
deep, in my heart, I just like it just like clicked. Like, I'm like, this is gonna be good. There's no way it can't be.
How did you wind up being cast for the show?
So I was recommended by um, one of my photographer friends because at the beginning it was being pitched for as like a big Italian family reality TV show.
Mhm.
And my boyfriend at the time is Italian, has a big Italian family. They were looking for people with like bougie lifestyles. So I hit all those boxes. And eventually it was like almost 2 years of casting, I would say, before it landed on TV. And so for me, I was hit right at the beginning. So I went through the entire process of like video call after video call after Zoom call after interview and was just kind of like dragged along the entire time before it was actually on TV.
Did you watch any other Housewives prior to joining? And if so, like, what was your favorite one? Who are like your favorite housewife girlies? I have to know.
Yeah. So I watched OG New Jersey. I grew up on that and Orange County. And then I kind of just stopped watching TV in general. But like, on TikTok, you're scrolling, you feel like you get the highlights, like you're still watching it without actually having to sit there and put it on your TV. Um,
Hmm.
so New Jersey has always been my favorite. And I like Beverly Hills, but I don't watch any Housewives now. And I think I like it that way. I don't want to
No,
get into
no,
it.
you're good. You're good. You're good. Because
Yeah.
the thing about you that I love so much, Kelsey, you are super authentic. I mean, you let it all out in the first episode. And one of the questions that I have, because again, I'm a former showrunner of Atlanta Housewives, I did Jersey as well. So I always am fascinated by the process because I know all about the process. So you mentioned earlier how when the casting process took place, it was supposed to be like big Italian families, living the lifestyle. Did your boyfriend at the time, right? Did he support you joining Housewives? Or when he learned that this was going to be Housewives, did he say, "Oh, I can't be a part of this"?
Yeah. So when did my first initial on camera, like Zoom call, I was like, hey, I'm like telling my boyfriend, I just need you for like an hour, just put on like a button down and like get in front of this camera. He's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I'm like, I don't know. It's just like potentially like a TV show about, I don't know, Italian families. So he's like, all right. So he got on for a couple of minutes and um I had the light set up. I had my housekeeper come on. I mean, everyone was talking in front of the camera. His daughter ended up like coming on to say hello. So it was this big thing. And then as the months went on, we still didn't know necessarily it was a housewives, but at one point one of the producers was like, or the casting agents was like, think housewives, think like bougie. And it was at that moment I was like, yeah, I think this is a housewives. When it was a housewives, my boyfriend was like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm not gonna be on it. But he's more of a reality TV housewives junkie than I am.
What do you
Watches
mean?
Yeah, watches reality TV, loves housewives. Um, but he was just like, I know what happens to the significant others on this show, and I'm not subjecting myself to this. So he was like, yeah, I'm excited for you, but I'm out. And I
Did
told
you
producers, I'm like, listen, he's not going to go. He doesn't want to come on it. He's very supportive of me, but he's not going to show him his face. He doesn't want to be on it. And everyone, I think, in the world needs to respect that some people have different priorities and don't want to be on TV, you know?
did you were you worried that that was going to jeopardize your chance of being cast for the show, knowing that he wanted nothing to do with that?
I was a little nervous, and producers tried really hard to get him on. Um, and they were trying hard just to even get a photo, like for him to sign off on a photo, which I knew in the world of social media that the sleuths would find him in about 3 seconds. I don't think he cared that people would find him online. He's just like, when you sign off and you let anybody use whatever you want about your name, it's just like, I can't subject myself to that. So I don't blame him for it, but I was at the same time hoping that he would at least make like one appearance.
Do you think his lack of participation, knowing that you was going to be a housewife, led to your breakup with him?
No, 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 no. That had nothing to do with it. I think it was years, the last 2 years, it was on my brain, like the forefront of my brain. Um, because that was when I met my other boyfriend, Bill, or who I started seeing along the way. I wouldn't necessarily say I was also dating him. It was just he was the other person who I would see maybe, once a week. So it wasn't like two full on relationships at the same time.
Because that's the perception we got. Because again, we're watching the show, and
And the
listen,
sugar baby and everything else is a percent. Yeah, it wasn't.
does it bother you that people refer to you as a sugar baby, or do you, or real life, like in real talk, do you just own it? Because obviously, it's like, look, I was with a guy who took care of me for 10 years,
Mm,
lived in his house. He's a snow bunny, right? He likes to be in Miami during the off season,
yeah.
meaning, when it's winter in Rhode Island. Do you own that that was your lifestyle, or do you feel like that's a word that you do not accept?